Good morning. This is the Nos Biggs, and I'm here on my back patio and watching the morning go by while I'm having the remainder of my breakfast. 3 sunny side up. We still have one of the sunnies still there. Maplewood organic bacon. Dry toast. Always 2 glasses of water. And we're celebrating with a Trump glass. Now, I call this morning at the point, but it's not really the point, because that's a little club up the road about 3 miles, and we're at the point's end, so we call it the Middle America point as opposed to the elite point. But got my inaugural cap on from 2016, 17, and really have a glorious Resurrection Saturday. Spent last evening watching The Passion of the Christ. Powerful movie. I knew that the Romans were brutal. They had a mentality that is just to decimate enemies. Crucifixion was one of the most horrible deaths. Sometimes a condemned man or woman could stay on the cross for days. The bones would be picked at by the birds. But I had no idea that the betrayal of the Pharisee in this movie made them to be as brutal, if not more brutal. So we know that here Herod killed all the children under 2, trying to make sure that the Messiah never came. So we know that at least the king at that time was willing to kill anyone and anything, including children. And if the portrayal of the Pharisee and their haughty arrogance was anything near reality, the pain that our Lord endured to save you and me was just beyond compare. Now, I want to clarify something that many pastors miss. When Christ was on the cross, he was placed, juxtapositioned between 2 criminals. Now, in most of the preachers' events, they say that when Christ made the comment, my Lord, why have thou hast forsaken me?" That was because God could not accept the sins of the world, and he had to leave and forsake his son. Well, that's just categorically impossible to even imagine. First of all, can you imagine a father ever deserting his son, and one that had been perfect all his entire life on earth? No. What was happening is that Christ, when he said, my Lord, why have thou forsaken me?" he was quoting from the Psalms, teaching and saving the men on the cross. It makes a lot more sense than this poppycock, pablum-puking preaching crap that says that Christ would ever have been turned away by his Father. So, a little bit of a Bible lesson. Now, I want to give you a little bit of an insight. My mother, who's now deceased for 9 years, had a preacher named Arnold Murray, and she was fortunate to have a satellite dish, and so this satellite dish allowed her to beam Dr. Arnold Murray 24/7 into our home. And that's where she and Dr. Murray became good friends. And he's an interesting study. He too has passed away now, but his sermons live on through video. His son has taken the ministry. So if you're interested, it beams right here in Charlotte and most major cities under the name of the Shepherd's Chapel. And what these preachers do is they teach the Bible line by line, verse by verse. The father, Arnold Murray, spoke when he lived Hebrew, Aramaic, Chaldee, and Greek, all 5 of the original languages, and he knows what the original languages were saying. And so you don't have to worry now with which of thousands of Bible translations and versions. Murray teaches you the line by line, verse by verse of what they mean. And he doesn't preach, he just teaches. So I'm going to encourage you, the Shepherd's Chapel in Gravette, Arkansas. You can watch it usually about 5:30 in the morning on Charlotte, one of the Charlotte channels, but it won't hard. You can Google the Shepherd's Chapel, and it's well worth it. So on this resurrection weekend, I say to all of you, known and unknown, God is King. Find your King. I'm not concerned of whether you're Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, Indian, Pakistani, Hmong. I really care less as long as you know that there is a higher power. My God and all the other intonations of my God will get it all sorted out in the end. So just do your best. Our Lord teaches that we are forgiven even until death. And so it's a pretty wonderful gift. And that's because our Lord died on the cross and sacrificed to save the world. Have a great day. This is Stephen Gibson saying have a great, wonderful day.